Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Macaulay's New Parents Night. My name is Stephanie Strathy, and I'm the Director of Individual Giving and Parent Liaison here at the college. Thank you so much for joining us. Sometime soon, we hope to actually meet you in person. Over 170 new parent families have signed up for tonight's event, and we are delighted to have you here. So welcome, all of you, to the Macaulay family. We have a special opportunity for you this evening. To give you a broad understanding of our Honors College community, we have put together a diverse panel of speakers who will offer you their perspective on what the Macaulay experience is all about. And later on, during the Q&A, you can ask whatever questions you have about your scholar's educational journey over the next 4 years. But before I introduce our speakers for the evening, we thought you'd enjoy watching a brief video as a way of introducing you to Macaulay. This is a montage of new student orientation back in August. You'll see that it was an in-person experience, something all of us were thrilled to take part in, especially our new students. Let's take a look. Wow, a wonderful start to what we hope will be a great year for the newest members of our student body. As you can see, community is core to Macaulay's educational program, and we encourage our first-year students to build strong relationships with each other, their advisors, their professors, and the rest of the Macaulay team. These relationships will inspire them to do their best and to be their best over the next 4 years and beyond. And now, I would like to introduce our order of speakers: Dr. Dara Byrne, Dean of Macaulay Honors College; Michael Groman, Vice Chair and Secretary of Macaulay's Foundation Board; Cooper Moran, a Macaulay student at Hunter College, class of 2024; Corinna Singelman, a 2008 graduate of Macaulay at Queens College; Jose La Rosa, whose daughter Victoria is a Macaulay student at Queens College; and Stephanie Hyacinth, Macaulay's interim vice president of external relations. Thank you all for participating tonight. I'd like to ask Dr. Byrne, Macaulay's new dean, to kick us off. Dean Byrne.
Hi, parents. Thank you, panelists, for being here. I wasn't expecting to see in that video a student walking in the background that I recruited many years ago when I was the director of Macaulay Honors College at John Jay. I received a message from that student not too long ago, who is no longer a student because he just was admitted to the bar and is practicing in New Jersey. But what I remember most about that student, his name is Andrew, is that when we were doing our interviews, Andrew arrived with his father. And I can still see them, how proud, his father was that he was called in for an interview, the kind of prep work that they were doing in the hallway to try and keep those nerves together, and the sheer joy and relief when Andrew came out of the interview room smiling. I could see a father who was relieved that his son was treated well. And that meant so much to me because a lot of my journey has been with the support of my parents. My parents moved me from Canada to Washington, D.C. when I started my doctoral program. My dad took me to my first academic conference. I can see my mom at an ironing board with a lint brush, making sure that my little suit was just perfect for my first presentation, and the countless number of hours that we spent on the phone just talking about my experiences, the things that I wasn't confident about, the difficulty of trying to find my way in a new environment. I know what parents do. I know what parents do. I know what parents have done for me. And I know especially what Macaulay parents are doing in the background to support their students. So I just want to start by saying thank you because your students are here with us in part because of what you have been doing to support them along the way and how you've encouraged them through a rather challenging application process and all of the things that it takes to matriculate into college, much less one of the top honors colleges in the country. Bravo to you. I get emotional thinking about that because my father is no longer with me. But the things that I think about are that when there was an orientation or other events, there wasn't a space for parents, quite like there's a space for parents at Macaulay. It's actually one of the things that I was immediately drawn to when Stephanie and the team were telling me about the life of parents in Macaulay. It's such a beautiful thing, an innovative concept, and something that really speaks to an important element of student success. So thank you for that as well, but thank you for being here because I want to convey to you the importance of what we are all doing together in order to ensure that, much like Andrew, who I recruited many years ago, that every single one of your students is well on their way to fulfilling their dreams. At Macaulay, our students are coming from a range of backgrounds. It's actually pretty incredible. You know, in the 1900s, when I was in undergrad, the idea of college was kind of lonely. You sort of found your own way. There was a sink or swim kind of environment. And that's just not what Macaulay is about. This is a true learning community and a space where everyone plays a role in ensuring that students are healthy and happy. And what I think we do best is drawing on who our students are, where they come from, and pulling that all together into a vibrant, collaborative community. Experiential learning is premier in Macaulay. And why I think that that's important, and I'm speaking to you as somebody who, aside from being a parent myself, is also 20 years into her career in academia and watching hundreds of students move on to their postgraduate life. Experiential learning is the gold standard of higher education. It's an opportunity for your children to work together with others who may have differing perspectives, differing experiences. Actually, they may not even agree. But here they are in a learning experience where they have to figure it out there in New York City, exploring an important issue or challenge or concept that is vital to city life, vital to the future of New York. And they work on teams, they work outside, they explore these questions together. You can't regurgitate the answer when you are doing experiential learning. There's innovation and discovery. But there is also the development of these really important soft skills that are critical for the kinds of students that are in the Macaulay community. These are the students that are destined to be the leaders, the transformers, the innovators, the risk takers, those who are, as Michael Groman said to me the other day, the students that come into his office, get things done, are great team players, and are wonderful young people to work with. They arrive that way because they've had countless experiences working together through challenge. And I'm proud of that. I'm proud of the fact that 2,100 students are engaged in collaborative learning in an enhanced experience that through your support, your participation, really is the pathway to taking them to the top. I'm obviously proud of the fact that most of our students graduate debt-free. I mean, that's a given, right? And when you graduate debt-free, you really do have the opportunity to think that the sky is the limit, but also my ability to afford the sky is now within reach. So I do love that. But graduating debt-free also frees our students up to think more about the quality of their learning experience, not just that they have access to it. You know, one of the things that recent research is showing is how challenging it is for young people today in graduating with a bachelor's degree to gain access to some of the kinds of careers that have long-term growth potential. And I know many parents out there are wondering that. My student is in school. What's their future going to be like? Are they going to be successful? Are they going to be financially secure? Be rest assured that we talk about this, we plan for this, we think about this every day in Macaulay. But we don't just think about how students are going to get a job. We think about their mobility in on their career pathway, which is very different, right? Because what we learn from young people today is that they're very interested in having a whole life, a career where they're financially secure, but one with purpose, one where they can translate the kind of excitement and passion and joy that they had in their Macaulay experience, that they're able to translate that into their work life. And that's a really exciting question that, quite frankly, is only a Macaulay question. Because what we have here are students who can not just get a job, but they're thinking about how, when they get that job, what they're going to do to make their work environment better for others or create pathways for others. And we want to ensure that when they get there, that they can stay there because they're healthy human beings. You'll notice over this first year, and in any year, that your students are going to get a lot of messages about their health, their wellness, especially after the experience that we all had with the pandemic. Because what we know is that having a lifelong career, having joy throughout your life also means being healthy, being grounded. And in college today, that is your physical health, that is your mental health, that is your sense that there is a future for you. And I'm really proud that in this community, we think about that, but we also are very committed to making sure that our parents understand why we are doing that. Now, in my day, we didn't necessarily talk about mental health with our families. We didn't necessarily talk about being worried about whether we were going to pass classes. Certainly, when you think about all of the things that your parents do for you, you just want to make sure that they understand that you're doing okay. But I have to tell you, as someone who had the pleasure of launching the honors program, the Macaulay Honors College at John Jay, students are not always doing fine. They just aren't. It doesn't mean that they won't be successful, but they don't always feel good. Sometimes they're not happy with their major. Sometimes they are feeling very uncomfortable in a new environment. Sometimes they're having challenges balancing numerous work responsibilities. And we work really hard to make sure that students feel that it's okay to express those things. High achievers are sometimes really used to being perfect. They're really used to all of the grades working out. They're really used to being number one in the class. I see Dr. Singleman is nodding her head. They're really used to that. And in college, and Cooper, feel free to back me up on this, but in college, sometimes it doesn't go that way in every single class. Or you can be in a class where you're doing great, but you don't love it. And you're around others who are talking about how they found themselves in art history, or they're so excited about political science, and you're taking the same, your student is taking the same class, and they're like, well, I don't feel that way. What does that mean? Parents, I want you to know that we care a lot about this, and we put a lot of effort and resources in working with students to understand that that is okay. Part of the opportunity about being talented and committed is that you can focus on yourself, move forward, and find that pathway that is uniquely yours. Again, that is the joy of Macaulay Honors College. We do that through mentoring, we do that through support programs, we do that through one-on-one counseling. But what I notice a lot is that the students are doing that with each other through the Honors Council and other kinds of activities like that. There is a true student leadership community where they are constantly trying to figure out ways to support each other and to build a life where where everyone feels like they belong. The last thing I'm going to say before I end my time with you, it is a real pleasure and a privilege to step in this role and work towards, with our Parents Council and with our foundation board and others, in ensuring that Macaulay is here forever. I think a lot about resiliency, especially after the experience of the pandemic. What does it mean to have a resilient community? One where our students, our faculty, our staff, our parent community, we can all withstand changes, challenges, and move forward laser focused on ensuring that our students and their successors have everything that they need to continue to move the city and state forward. I'm excited to continue that work, and I'm especially proud of what it means to, at this time where public education is becoming increasingly more costly, and many are questioning the value of it, that we're here in an environment where no one can ever say that Macaulay Honors College isn't the best experience there is in New York City, in the country, or anywhere else. We offer students an elite public education without also practicing elitism. That's so rare. It's so beautiful. It's extraordinary. And I look forward to working with all of you to continue exactly what it means to be in a top honors college that is part of the City University of New York. I'm looking forward to the day that I can see you in person. I love parents. I've loved working with parents, but I especially love hearing your voice. So I hope as we get to know each other that you will get to see that I'm really invested in hearing about your experiences so that we can make it better for other parents and, most important, for the students that we all work together to support. Thank you so much.
Um, Thank you, Dean Byrne. And I know that we've only had the pleasure of working with you for a short period of time, but I so much enjoyed the time we spent recently last week. And I think this is, we're in a terrific part and point in time for our school, and your leadership is going to take us to even higher levels. Thank you for having me. I've had the privilege of being a part of the Macaulay family since 2007. In which I started what I thought was just going to be a one-off internship program that was under our firm's diversity umbrella at the time. And lo and behold, so the accidental program, it continues not only to this day, but I've gotten now to see over 15 years longitudinally of where the Macaulay students could end up and where they started in the same type of a place that your kids are now, starting their journey in Macaulay. We have hired over the years a good number of Macaulay students, and they are among our highest performers, and not because I favor them, it's because they simply rise to the top. And I made a major miscalculation when I started the program. I thought, well, I was doing something for the students and giving them opportunity. And I realized that that wasn't the real equation. The real equation was how much they enriched our organization. So as the years went by, the internship program continues, and I'm not even involved in the selection anymore because the Macaulay grads who are here are the ones making the selections. And so during this time, I had the privilege of being invited to join the board. And sort of the theme that I want to impress upon each of you is that if I could have done this program with no professional training and no plan, well, since I could do this, why can't this be replicated not only across law firms, but across all the major industries and practices that the students aspire to? And so I got involved with the board, and my goal is to try to replicate and try to share with other organizations, not that you're doing something to benefit students, but you're getting the access and resources of the brightest, most humble, understated contributors. And it's really been an incredible ride. And I sort of can't believe when I'm here that it's been doing this for about 15 years. The parents have continued to be an enormous resource for us, because the connections that you have, the friends, the family, the people that who can be in positions of authority and positions to hire, that's invaluable to me, the board, and to the rest of the career advisory group. Because all we're really looking is for audiences to take this message. Only this afternoon, I received a thank you note from a friend of mine at Franklin Templeton, the mutual fund and financial services company, thanking me for giving them an introduction to a student. And quite frankly, I really forgot about it because it's really not about me, but it was very timely because that simply happened today. And so we have made significant progress across law firms, financial services firms, accounting firms, healthcare providers. And so that's sort of my mission. And I encourage all of the parents to give some considerations to their networks, and feel free to reach out to me and give me the leads, because I am very confident in that I can demonstrate and have others demonstrate who've been similarly beneficiaries that the Macaulay students have the highest degree of excellence and the highest degree of success, and they're the highest performers here. So really, in concluding, I look at my job as one of creating links from where your kids are going into school not knowing what they're going to do, to us providing career opportunities for them. And everybody on this call, the parents, the people on the board, other professionals, everybody has that opportunity. And I've joked for a while that my job only has a short tenure, not because I'm not interested, it's because I'm starting to see the Macaulay graduates from years ago, and I haven't had the pleasure of meeting Dr. Singelman, and I'm sure that she is one of them, but they're all becoming in positions where they're going to pay it forward, and I'll be able to sort of take even a continuing backseat. But it's been a real privilege to be part of the Macaulay community, and I look forward to hearing from you. I look forward to seeing you at hopefully our in-person Opportunities Gala, which we have annually, which is very inspirational, very successful. I think we're planning that for the spring. And if anybody has any ideas as to how I could help create opportunities for your students or colleagues or their colleagues, that's what I've been very excited to do for 15 years. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Michael. Hello, everybody. Nice to meet you, parents. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Cooper Moran. I'm a current junior at Macaulay Hunter. And just to give a little bit of a background about myself, I'm on the pre-med track as a human bio major. I'm also minoring in music, and I have a lot of experience in many of the different clubs and internships and research through Macaulay as well as through Hunter College. Just for instance, I have been with the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, doing an internship with them on the front lines of response to COVID and monkeypox. So working on like a national level, as well as doing research at one of the labs at the CUNY Graduate Center, and I'm about to be published through that. I'm also the captain of the Hunter men's volleyball team, so go Hawks. But yeah, there's opportunities to be involved in many different areas as a student at Macaulay, and it's definitely a very important thing to get involved. So as parents, you may be wondering like, okay, what can I do to help my student, my kid succeed? And it's pretty difficult to just tell your student, your kid to, okay, go do things, go get involved, because that's what everyone hears coming out of high school. And yes, you do have to get involved, you do have to try, but having a good mindset around how do I actually like get into something that I'm interested in is really where it starts with, which just some advice and just a good way to start and have that conversation with your kids is, what are you interested in? What's something that you haven't had a chance to do in high school? What's a class that you took that you were like, wow, I'm really good at this and I like it? Because just having that feeling of I'm passionate in this, whether it's in research, in an internship, or it's in something that they'd never even considered, that's really what starts that opportunity, which Macaulay then provides the services like having an advisor who will actually sit there with you and help you figure out, okay, who am I reaching out to? Oh, you know what? I actually had one of my students 10 years ago that's in this field right now. Let me connect you. You're going to have someone that already did this. You're going to have someone that, oh, this was my mindset going into it. But that Macaulay advisor is super, super important, which just like all resources in life, it's only as good as if you actually use it. So using your advisor and getting to know them on a really personal level, as well as having your advisor kind of understanding where you're at in terms of your career path, or you having no idea where your career path is going, and your advisor understanding that is really important. Just some general things that I think parents should know about Macaulay is that we are trying to provide for students. That is what Macaulay's basis is fully around. There is an online website as well as an app called Career Path, which kind of uses the handshake services or website. But Career Path is a massive database for Macaulay students where you could find internship opportunities, abilities to connect with professionals in all different areas of interest, as well as just general opportunities for jobs. I had one opportunity where I am currently volunteering at a clinic, which I got through Career Path. And the only reason that I would have even thought about it is because my advisor knew that I was interested in medicine. And she sent me a notification through the app, which, yes, I should have been checking the app more frequently, but she had my back. I don't have too much more time to speak, but I really appreciate all you parents coming out today. And I really encourage you to ask questions in the chat, because there are many of us here that want to help answer questions. And that is the overall goal of this, is to just help you guys figure out what you could do to help your students. But thank you guys so much. And I hope you enjoy all of the other speakers.
Thank you so much, Cooper. So I am a graduate of Macaulay. I graduated in 2008 and have since refined my focus on my major from when I was at Macaulay, which was biology. So I first heard of Macaulay in its infancy. Before it even became Macaulay, it started out as the CUNY Honors College. And when I heard about it, I was in a place in my life where I knew that the only way that I would be able to go to college at all would be if I attended CUNY. And so this seemed like a really amazing opportunity, not just to have tuition covered, but also to have these other opportunities, which I learned more later after I applied, like the Opportunities Fund and an advisor and all of the other focused courses that your students are going to be taking over the first 2 years of their experiences at Macaulay. And as a Macaulay student, I grew in ways I never ever expected. I never expected that I would not only get a master's, but also a doctorate degree. This was not at all in my expectation. But a lot of that is because of the support and care that I got as a Macaulay student. As I said, my advisor was amazing. And only looking back, speaking with other non-Macaulay students and working with students later in my career, did I really fully understand how special it is to have an advisor who has that one-on-one relationship with their students the way that Macaulay advisors do. I'm still in touch with my advisor, and it's been longer than 10 years since I graduated. And she's still a part of my life. She sees pictures of my daughter all the time. We communicate, and it's amazing. I also have a lot of friends that were in my cohort, both on my campus and at Macaulay at large, who I'm still very close with. And I feel like a lot of the friends that I made outside of Macaulay, we talk once in a while, but it's not the same connection as what Macaulay brings to the table, especially when there's annual alumni events and different things to keep us together and to keep those connections fresh. And I think that's really unique in Macaulay. While I was a Macaulay student, again, the Opportunities Fund, the experiential learning that Dr. Byrne talked about is just out of this world. I had promised that I would show this, but I went to the Galapagos when I was a student, and I made a little book showing some of the experiences I had and the friends that I made there and the experiences in this. It was like the textbook in my biology class come to life, but more vibrant. It was phenomenal. And that would never, ever have happened without that Opportunities Fund and without being part of Macaulay. That experience helped me solidify my dream of being a biologist, and it helped focus my passion and interest in environmental studies and fieldwork. And so that ended up being what I studied as a doctoral student, was more locally, but how local contaminants affect local fish. And so much of Macaulay, the seminars are all about New York and how special New York is, how amazing and wondrous New York is as a city and a state. And so it seemed like kind of full circle for a lot of things. Since graduating from Macaulay, as I said, I got my doctorate, but I've also come back to Queens College. And so for the last 5 years, after graduating from doing research at Queens College, actually, I stayed at Queens College where I taught, and I worked on a grant to help improve the courses there. And I had this amazing opportunity for the last year to be interim director of Queens College Macaulay, which really was just, again, full circle experience. I've been a Macaulay student. I've worked with Macaulay students in the research lab and taught them Seminar 3, which is the Science of New York. And I got to be a director. Just amazing. Macaulay has such a special place in my heart. And I know that I would never be where I am without having had this experience, that I'm so beyond grateful for this. And I'm a passionate supporter of Macaulay and of Macaulay students. And so I hope that all of your students really have exceptional experiences. They're going to be different from mine, and they're going to be different from Cooper's, and that's wonderful and great. And as a parent, I would recommend, supporting your students and give them the space to grow and the space to really just dive deep into their education. My parents were wonderful and supportive, but they didn't necessarily know how to be academically supportive in the way that I necessarily needed. So I spent a lot of time on Queens College campus after hours when I wasn't studying, just so I had the time, because I had many siblings, and it wasn't pushed or said, that I had family responsibilities, but I felt that when I was at home, I felt I needed to do home things. When I was at school, I felt that I could do school things. So, being explicit with your students and saying, hey, do your school thing here, really take advantage of everything. That would have been really wonderful to hear, even though I knew it. Hearing it and having it explicit, I think, would be something that I would recommend to all your parents. But I wish you the best of luck to you and your students. You're in amazing hands with everybody at Macaulay. Good luck.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jose La Rosa. I'm the proud father of Victoria La Rosa, class 2024 at Queens College, Macaulay Queens College. I'm also a special education teacher. Thank you all for coming to the class of 2026 Parents' Night. It has already been a bit over a month into the new semester, so I'm sure that you children have now become settled into their new schedules. But still, isn't it amazing to think how far they've come? I remember when my daughter was just starting to read, and now she's planning to write her thesis. She's having kind of struggling with ideas. Time flies for everyone. That being said, the past few years have been a landslide of change. I'm sure that your children's dreams and expectations for high school were somewhat changed to the pandemic. They are probably still grappling with the idea they've now passed that stage and are now college students. My daughter faced the same issue. As part of the high school class of 2020, she missed out on a lot of experiences that a high school senior expects to have, and had to transition into her first year of college being completely online. She says that she remembers the day that she received her acceptance letter. It was the same day that her high school went completely online also. So it was from that point onwards, although she was not fully aware of it yet, that she found a new home at Macaulay, at the Macaulay community, that helped and supported her academically and emotionally. I think that her initial experience of college would have been drastically different if not for the help of the Macaulay Honors Program and the people that she met through it. I must say that she already had in mind that she wanted to go to Queens College for her undergrad, simply because Queens College is close to home. The idea of going away to college during the pandemic was scary, to say the least. So, as a parent, I simply had to agree with her. A little thing I was leaving out actually, was that my wife went to Queens College for her undergraduate and graduate degrees, and I went to Hunter College. So CUNY is in the family, really. Going back to the Macaulay program, I feel like the most important takeaways from my experience thus far with it has been how much they seem to care for each and every one of their students. My daughter receives weekly updates about what's going on in Macaulay building, giving her opportunities to reach out and bond with her fellow students. Whatever questions I have are answered in a timely manner, and questions that my daughter has are addressed by her incredible advisor. Her advisor has helped her stay on track for her major in linguistics and has recently reminded her about the Opportunities Fund. Through the fund, my daughter will receive even more financial support for a potential study abroad, internship, or research activity. My wife and I think that every aspect of the Macaulay program has been so well designed to support our children that the only advice that we can give you is just relax. Your children are in good hands. On the other hand, please keep in mind that all of these experiences and opportunities cost money. Our family, Angela and I, has consistently supported the Macaulay program economically. And I'm asking you to please do the same. I think our children are worth it. I know that the crazy experience of the last couple of years will forever be part of our lives, but hopefully not only in a negative way. As for me, I learned that no matter how difficult things may seem, we can always be part of the plan for a better future by allowing ourselves to be supported when necessary and to support others when possible. Thank you and good luck to everyone.
Thank you so very much, Mr. La Rosa. Again, on behalf of the entire team at Macaulay Honors College, thank you so much for being here tonight. We are delighted to welcome you and your first-year students to the Macaulay community and hope that the next 4 years will be inspiring and life-changing for your hardworking and high-achieving honors scholars. As new Macaulay parents, you know that the college provides merit scholarships so that our students can graduate with little or no debt. You also know that it has been a tradition since our doors first opened in 2001 to give every student in their first class brand new technology support, and this year is no exception. You may also know that Macaulay is consistently ranked as one of the top 7 honors colleges in the nation because we provide an outstanding and rigorous education right here in New York City and using New York as the classroom. But what you might not know is that Macaulay offers a unique learning opportunity outside the traditional walls of the classroom, an opportunity and an approach known as experiential learning. Experiential education at Macaulay takes the form of study abroad, study away programs, internships, and independent research. And we encourage all of our students to pursue at least one of these options during their time at college. Why? Because these beyond the classroom experiences develop critical thinking, inspire a global viewpoint, and give our graduates a professional edge. Think about the resume building, the networking, the mentorship, and the social capital that they can acquire. Macaulay students can access these experiences by applying to our Opportunities Fund, which provides grants from $1,500 to $5,000 to juniors and seniors who are looking to link new academic pursuits to future lives and careers. This is underwritten entirely by private donations, gifts from alumni, parents, and others. The Opportunity Funds, this supports these activities by providing students with dedicated travel and fellowship funds. This past spring, 80 Macaulay students received Opportunities Fund grants for study abroad and study away programs, internships, and research activities. Of this, 23 students received what we call Enhanced Opportunities Funds, meaning funds in the amount of $2,500, $3,000, and $5,000. Our recipients at all grant levels interned at 25 organizations, conducted research at 22 locations, and studied abroad in 15 cities, including Copenhagen, Florence, Tokyo, Dos Mangas, and London. All these amazing and transformational experiences for our students, they have told us that time and time again, these experiences have changed their lives, have given them a broader outlook as citizens of the world. We want nothing less for our students, so we invite you to support the Opportunities Fund with a gift of any size so that we can continue to offer them an unrivaled honors education. And the time will come, sooner than you think, when your first-year students want to apply to the Opportunities Fund to find out what academic adventures await them. As Macaulay alumna Julia D'Alessio, class of 2019, said, in the classroom, you are taught how to be a professional. In experiences outside the classroom, you learn who you are and what part you want to play in the world. I think that says it all. Thank you so much.
Thanks, everyone, for sharing your perspectives on the college. Before we begin with the Q&A, I want to say a few words about Macaulay's Parents Council. The first words are, please join the council. It's a way for you to get to know the college, to join a committee, and to meet other Macaulay parents. But most of all, membership in the Parents Council supports and enriches your child's education during their time at Macaulay. Nearly 100 of our families are members, and we want to include you too. If you join now, you'll be invited to our annual Parents Council Appreciation Reception, which will be held on the evening of Tuesday, November 15th, here at the Macaulay Building on West 67th Street. Besides meeting current and alumni Macaulay parents, you will have a chance to meet Dean Byrne in person. At the end of tonight's program, we will provide you with my contact information and a link to the Parents Council page so that you can learn more about membership details. In addition to raising money to enhance our students' learning experiences, I also serve as parent liaison here at the college. Please know that I am a resource for you at Macaulay. If there's something you need help with, or if you have a question, please feel free to reach out to me at any time. And now I'd like to open the floor to questions. Please type your questions in the Q&A box on your screen, and we'll be happy to answer as many of them as possible. Okay, I see there's one question here that's come in, and I see it's for Dean Byrne. And the question is, can Macaulay Hunter College students get free subway cards to go to class like other CUNY students?
Oh, thank you for that question. So at particularly Macaulay Hunter, one of the things to first do, especially if there is a need, is to ask the program about special opportunities. But on the whole, what we know is that Hunter has specific programs, as does CUNY, like ACE, ASAP, SEEK, and other programs where students do get Metro cards as part of that program. Macaulay Hunter does not have that, but I do think that there's an important outreach to ask for your student to ask their advisor about Metro card opportunities. One of the reasons that I say to ask is that we want to hear about the kinds of things that students are interested in or need so that we can talk to our community, our leadership at Hunter and elsewhere about the kinds of things that are changing or evolving. We hear a lot from students that sometimes they might not be in need of a laptop as they might be in terms of access to Metro cards or interest in resources for other kinds of things. And we want to hear those things because we otherwise wouldn't know. But specifically at Hunter, no, I am not aware of any program at Hunter that provides those Macaulay students, and Cooper, you can testify, I'm sure, those students with a Metro card. There are special CUNY programs, particularly for our students in the lowest income bracket, to receive a Metro card.
Great, thank you. The next question is for Dr. Singleman. And the question is, as a parent, I'm concerned that my child finds the right career path and is able to get a job with opportunities for growth once she graduates. What did Macaulay do to prepare you for the 21st century workforce?
That is an excellent question, and actually the same question my parents had as well. I had been torn between pursuing my art interests or pursuing biology, and my parents were very passionate in telling me, go to STEM, that's a really great path. But I didn't really have any idea kind of what jobs or anything. Macaulay was really helpful. My first year, we had a number of workshops that we attended with faculty members and people at different career path organizations on campus. So we had the health professions department, we had the pre-law, we had BALA, we had a number of different other honors programs come and meet with all of the students, which was really, really helpful because it put a face and made a connection immediately with the people who could help us in our careers and also help us to figure out what we wanted to do in our careers. So that was very, very helpful. We also worked on writing college narratives and doing a little bit of resume prep, but not too much. And then the seminar courses actually were really eye-opening because we focused on different topics each semester. And I was able to get a little taste of different fields that I don't know if I would have otherwise really paid much attention to. And so that helped just broaden my thought process about things. And a lot of my path was helped by my advisor and by the director at the time of Macaulay at Queens, where they offered opportunities of, hey, why don't you apply to this grant? Or, hey, there's this research program for the summer so you can get research experience since that's what you're interested in. And it was very targeted because my advisor knew me. Like, she knew me very, very well, just like she knew all the other students. And so she was really a guiding force where she listened to my goals, my thoughts, my values, and what I expected my life to be like after graduation. And she helped guide me. Sometimes even when I didn't realize she was guiding me, she would give suggestions and make recommendations. And, I didn't always take them, but that helped really develop me into a critical thinker to self-examine and reflect on what I wanted and why. And that helped me move forward a lot.
Can I also just add one thing, Stephanie, to follow Dr. Singelman's points, which were beautifully stated? A lot of colleges in our Macaulay network are also making it easier for students to be interdisciplinary, to double major, to do 2 majors and a minor. And I think this is one of the spaces where Macaulay students excel. As you heard from Cooper, as you heard from Dr. Singelman, they have multiple interests, and what the advisors and the leadership do is try to clear the path for making that possible. In fact, I was at Queens College 2 weeks ago with the president, Frank Wu, who I respect tremendously. And he spoke a lot about the work that they're doing to make Queens College more accessible for double majors so that students don't have to make a choice between their interest in the arts and their interest in biology, but particularly an interest in helping those students understand the relationship between the two. How do you explain to others what you got out of that? And what we find in the workplace, what employers increasingly talk about, is they want to understand more about what motivates you, how it is you think, not just your ability to get a job done, because workplaces are cultures as well. And I think that what you heard from Dr. Singelman is a perfect example of how good advisement really helps a student over 4 years think that through. So it's not that you have a series of credentials and courses, but you have meaning for it, one that you authored, one that you own, but very clearly that you have agency. And in interviews, that is what we listen for. I've sat on, you don't even want to know how many interviews I've sat in on, selecting candidates and so on. And you can tell who has agency, who is able to explain not what they did, but why they did it, the impact, what it meant to them, and the difference it made to others. And that is a very powerful thing that parents, watch out. You're going to hear your babies sounding exactly like Dr. Singelman within the year, and it is stunning to see them come into that place. But more important, Macaulay is going to do that with them every single year, intentionally, but also humanely. And that is how we guarantee that your student is going to be well prepared, not for the world as it is now, but a world that changes rapidly year after year. And that is the mark of success, is that you can move with a world that's in flux and still land on your feet.
Great. Thank you for those additional comments, Dean Byrne. Thank you. I have another question here, and it's for Cooper. The question is, Cooper, how often should my student see his advisor? And do advisors provide guidance on academic issues only?
That's a great question. I don't think it's necessary to see your advisor every day. I think that'd be overdoing it. But seeing your advisor every couple of weeks, maybe once a month, maybe once every 2 months would probably be a good time frame to check in. There's some hot periods, so to call, in which a lot of students go and see their advisor, which is when you're signing up for classes, which in this case is going to happen in November. The date hasn't been released yet, but a lot of students get anxious about signing up for classes because there's a lot of different, like you want to check off a couple different boxes for what you have to do, as well as like, oh, I want to make sure I'm on a good path. But the advisor is a huge asset in that department in terms of academic planning. I actually have an advisor through athletics department at Hunter, and it is one advisor for about 400 athletes. And you can imagine how effective it is for one advisor to meet with 400 people within a month. So having a personal advisor that I can go to, which only has 80 to 100 students at Hunter, which is the most out of most of the colleges, campuses, it's huge. It's a huge thing that within a week I can meet with my advisor. So I would recommend every month or 2 months, but definitely make your meetings ahead of time and don't wait till the last minute because they do fill up. And if there's any urgent requests for meetings, you could usually email your advisor, and they're pretty flexible because they're there to help you. And they do want to see you succeed, which is a huge thing because they're already in your corner. You don't have to convince them that you're going to succeed. They're already in your corner supporting you. So I hope that helps to answer the question, but definitely use your advisors. They are awesome.
That's great. Thanks, Cooper. The next question is for Stephanie. And so the question is, my daughter is very excited about using the Opportunities Fund for study abroad in the future, now that the pandemic restrictions are being lifted. Is there some way for parents to support these learning experiences?
Oh, absolutely. There is opportunities to give through various means. You can also, make a gift online, send a check. I mean, but there are awesome ways, and you can, Steph Straffy will also provide my information if you'd like to talk about other ways to give. We are always looking for parents and alums and everyone to be supportive of the fund. So thank you for that question and for your generosity.
Okay, I see we have time for one more question. And this one is for Jose La Rosa. Okay, Jose, here it goes. I'm sure that your daughter is having a wonderful experience at Macaulay, but what would you say are her biggest challenges?
I think the biggest challenges are that she has so many choices. Actually, she's going to be a double major and a minor, but she had to choose between, she likes so many things. So that is a challenge for her because eventually she has to make a decision on one thing or at least two things. So academically, everyone has been supportive. So the challenge has been basically one of her choice.
Okay, well, great. Thank you so much, Jose. Well, folks, this does it for our program, and I'd like to thank our speakers again for being with us tonight, for sharing their thoughts on Macaulay. I'd like to thank my colleagues here at the college and to you, all you parents, for taking the time to join us. We hope your students are having an inspiring, challenging, and fun first semester, and we look forward to seeing you at future Macaulay events. Before we go, just want to leave you with one more short video. I think you're going to enjoy looking at this one. It was taken maybe just about a couple of weeks ago, and it was Macaulay's Night at the Museum. So this is an activity that's in conjunction with our First Honors Seminar Arts in New York City. And so our students, our first years, had the experience of having the entire Brooklyn Museum open to them for one full evening. So let's take a look. Thank you so much, and we'll see you soon.
event is about making you feel special, and that fills me with joy and